Hey, y'all, T-Ham141 here. Welcome to the Homestead Centric Show. We are starting a brand new, um, uh, a brand new format for the Thursday night live streams, and we're calling it the Ecocentric, or Ecocentric. I'm thinking of Ecocentric Homestead, of course, but the Homestead Centric Show, where we're all about homesteading and self-reliance. It is the lifestyle is so important. That music sounds a little loud to me. Let me take that down just a little bit. So I'm gonna be having guests on, put a lot more thought into the live streams instead of just coming on and chatting. And I really hope that you'll enjoy what you see here. Okay. Um, Before we get too crazy on stuff, I got a couple announcements that I really need to make. The first is Wendy's birthday giveaway on February 8th, 2023 at 6 p.m. on a live stream. There is no purchase or anything necessary, but we are going to be giving away this camera setup that's right up here. It is a Vivitar action camera with a bunch of accessories with it, and we're going to be giving that away for free. And we really hope that that's something that you're interested in. And then I want to let you know about the Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference. This is going to be amazing. I did get my enhanced license, so New York has basically given me permission to get back in the country after I leave. Go figure. It was iffy for a little bit there, but this is the Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference is on May 6, 2023. It is at the McDonald's Corners Agricultural Society in McDonald's Corners. The address is right down in the bottom. Feel free to watch in the replay or whatever and write down that. I am in upstate New York, north of Rome, New York, and it's a 3.5 hour drive for me. And I will be speaking. Go figure, they're gonna let me talk. And I'm going to be going over, I believe, do-it-yourself off-grid systems such as power and water. And that is exciting to me. That's really exciting to me because it's something that I know a little bit about. I started my system a while back, and it is just well, we started when we were in the camper with a little 100-watt system from Harbor Freight. We had solar panels and a a little a little charge controller that had alligator clips to clip onto the 12-volt battery that ran our camper. That's how I got into solar. I really hope this is enjoyable. Guys, tonight we're going to be talking. Before I get into what we're doing tonight, I also have the last announcement up at the top of the chat. There is a pinned comment. It says, message me if you would like to be a featured guest on a future episode of the show. I am looking for subjects and people to bring on the show. I want this to be a entertaining show. I want it to be an informative show, and homesteading and self-sufficiency just cuts into so many different areas in life. You can homestead in an apartment. You can homestead in a city. You can homestead in the middle of the Yukon river system. You can homestead anywhere, and it's all going to be awesome. I'm hoping, but I need people to come on with me, and we're scheduling out on February 9th. I already have Marcy from the Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference scheduled. We're going to be talking about the conference and February. That's February 9th. And that's going to be awesome. She also has a homesteading channel, I believe, on I can't remember which one it is that she's got. If somebody Patrick or Mary Lynn or Remy, if you could look up what channel is Marcy's channel. I should have known that already. Great start to the show, man. Oh, Johnny Carson, I ain't. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about self-sufficiency as always. And to me, self-sufficiency is providing as much for yourself as you can, not being as dependent on others. Learning Curve Acres. That's right. Learning Curve Acres. That's Marcy's channel. And being a producer rather than just a consumer. I produce so that I can consume. I would like to say I produce 100% of the stuff I use on here on the homestead. But if you watch my pantry challenge and hashtag 3 Rivers challenge videos, you'll know that doesn't work. Hey, Little Ridge. So yeah, providing as much for yourself as possible. It's really important. As things go up, we are paying, I'm seeing $5 American for a dozen eggs. Providing for ourselves is getting to be very important. If it weren't for my pantry and my garden, I would be spending a lot more money on food. And I'm living the bachelor lifestyle. If you watch my hashtag pantry challenge videos, you will see that my pantry is stocked with store-bought goods also. I mean, other than like Annie from Back to Basics Homestead, and you know, where they make the pizza dough, make the pizza all from scratch, and their own canned tomatoes. I just buy the pre-made pizzas at Walmart, throw them in the oven, you know. But it's in my pantry, it's in my freezer. So there you go. All right, guys. Tonight's our very first inaugural guest on the Homestead Centric show, and Centric just means center. We're Homestead centered. Is Patrick Coste, and let me see if I can get this over here. Oh yeah, I want to get that. I'll leave the information of the Eastern Ontario Homesteaders Conference right up here, so you can go to Google Maps and Google it, and it'll tell you how long it'll take you to get there. All right, let me go ahead and bring Patrick up. Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
Oh, hey, T1, what's up?
Not a whole lot. I'm nervous tonight. I've been doing lives for almost a year. Ooh, something from Thorhaven. What'd you get?
I got some seeds.
Oh, nothing like getting seeds.
I got rhubarb seeds, peppers, pole beans,
nice.
And some wildflower mix, and some promotional items, of course. That's Thor himself.
Nice. You can't. You just in this community, man. You got to check your mail regularly, and it can really get exciting with what you get in the mail. I'm going to the Homesteaders Conference on May 6th, and I ordered me. I'm using Sticker Mule for the first time, and I ordered 100 of these stickers so I can give them out for free. It's got my website on there, and it's my emblem. I'm going to be getting some other stuff so I can give out for free. And
I need one of those.
it is just going to be an awesome time. What's that?
I need one of those.
Yeah, on Sticker Mule, when I ordered 200 of them, I think it came out to like 61 cents a piece. So it wasn't that bad. It was a lot cheaper than going through Redbubble for stickers. But and they sell a bunch of stuff. They sent me a bunch of other stuff too. And I don't know if you can see this, but it was the perfect size to fit. This is the phone that I use to record my audio for most of my videos when I'm not too lazy to pull it out. And because on the Homestead, you got to have, my Homestead is set up for rechargeable batteries.
Yes, very
whether
important.
Yeah, no matter what it is, whether it's drills or fans or headlamps, whatever it is, I like to have it rechargeable, because if the sun comes out, and recently that's been a big if, it has been dark, man.
15
I have
days here, one sunny day a couple of days ago. It's art on the soul, you know.
Yeah, I have been fighting. I don't want to say depression, because it's got a bunch of bad connotations, but just not feeling like doing anything.
It's a little bit
Well,
of a
I could.
downer, yeah.
Yeah, I've got talk of the devil, learning curve acres. Hey, Marcy, we were just talking about you.
True that, true
Uh,
that.
but yeah, I've got logs that I could go out with the tractor when it's cold out, because if it gets anywhere near 30, I I have a problem with sinking, and this Tug Hill clay is horrible, and I don't want to
Sinking.
tear it all up. Yeah,
Huh.
I don't want to tear it all up. So, hey, Vineyard Farmhouse, how's it going? Uh, and I got so many things I could do. People love the watching me cut wood without chaps. I had a gentleman the other day. He says, "Hey, great equipment there, but where are your chaps?" And I told him, I said, I've made the choice not to wear chaps, and at some time I might regret that choice. My brother's cut his leg, and my father cut himself with a saw, and it's dangerous. And I'll never put anyone down for putting on a pair of chaps, or even the screen masks.
Oh, never. Yeah. You
Yeah,
do if you want to. Yeah, I do.
yeah.
But you never know. I'm clumsy a bit, you know, so I rather be safe. But I got a helmet for sure, you know, and more than likely gloves, because that's
Yeah.
very close to whatever you
I
do.
had I had a friend. His name was Gil Martin, the most wonderful man you'll ever meet. I mean, you'd walk into church and the man would make you feel like you just stepped into his house. He was so inviting and welcoming and cheerful. But he was a professional logger for over 60 years. He retired but kept working because he owned his own logging business. And he was cutting on uh, uh, some tops or something, and a branch came down and hit him in the head, and he was dead standing up when the guy pulled in. He's like, "What is Gil looking at?" Because Gil was
Mm.
just sitting there, and come to find out, something came down and hit Gil in the head and sent him to heaven.
Took a few minutes probably, and he just stood still, or you know, you never know. That's the thing, right? You never know.
Yeah,
So you better be sorry. But you know, when it's about legs and stuff, you know, it can cut the artery very fast, and that's a part of being self-reliant, right? Like, what do you do when that
yeah,
happens? So sometimes I'm just, you know, I got my phone always with me, you know, like just in case something happened in the middle of the wood. We're lucky that way. Imagine way before. Well, when I
oh
was
yeah.
young, there was no cell phone.
Well, how long? It was only maybe what 50, 100 years ago. Well, they didn't have chainsaws, but they had their saws were razor sharp, and their
Oh yeah.
axes and stuff. And we know, okay, take off my belt, put a tourniquet on, tighten it tight, tight, call a hospital, call an ambulance, whatever. Trevor showed up at my house one day, and he said, "Hey, you want to ride to Lowville with me?" That's where Lewis County General Hospital is. And I said, "Really, Trevor? I'm kind of busy." And he opened up his pants, and I could see the gash. I said, "Yes, Trevor, I will drive." He said, "No, I can drive." He says, "I just want somebody to ride with me in case I get woozy."
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
so we can both die in the car accident." Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I had a lawnmower in the middle toe incident. I still have all my toes, but yeah, got caught in a wire. The wire went through my toe, so
Wow.
I could drive, I guess. But I called my lady. She was at the grocery store, and I was like, "Hey, honey, what are you up to?" "Well, I'm at the grocery store." I said, "Well, when you got a minute, we need to go to the hospital." And she's like, "What?" I was calm, very calm, but you never know when like you need to be self-reliant. I couldn't do it myself. That's the bummer because it's part of being
Right.
of grid and doing all these things. Is I can do it. A little bit tough on the side, but that was not a thing you could mess with. Or at
No.
least not myself. I would need someone else because it was like pulling a nail out of a log.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, someone else would have to do it.
Yeah. Well, um, Kareen says that you were so calm when that happened, and that can
Yeah.
freak somebody out. But when it happens, if a lot of us that do have the okay, I'm out here alone mentality, has got okay. If I'm going to survive this, I have to have my wits about me.
Yes.
If I'm going to make it out of here and I don't want to freak out, the only person I've got that can give me a ride to the hospital, cat. Ugh.
Cat can't drive.
No, the cat can't drive. Well, he drives me crazy.
He's good at
Uh,
driving.
oh my goodness. The other night he started meowing right as I got into bed, and I knew he wanted to go out. He should have asked earlier. And I I just opened the door and threw him out. Yeah, Darren. Let's see here. How do I do this? Oh, show that
Oh,
show that thing. Darren, he got your seeds, man. That's awesome.
I don't go to the post office very often.
I have the same problem.
Do you have a mailbox? Like
Cat.
it's not close to the driveway, right?
No, I have a post office box because I'm on a seasonal road, and my UPS guy has been driving me batty. I don't know if it's UPS. I'm pretty sure it's UPS, the new guy. He. I looked the other day and it said my package was delivered. I'm like, no, and because I always see him coming up the driveway. And I did a little research, and he had left it at the gate. I don't have a gate. He hung it on. I got a sign out there that has my address on it, and that hey, this is actually a house on a seasonal road, and he hung it on that. And I'm like, great. So now I get to walk a third of a mile to
I got books hanging on the driveway for a week. A Christmas gift that I received that was just a bit curly, But yeah, the it's automation, like communications is hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I got some questions for you, Patrick.
All right.
What does it mean to you to be self-sufficient? Why is it that you are trying to be more self-sufficient? Cat, sorry. We're on
Next
TV.
question. No, I'm just kidding. Um, being self-reliant, it's wow, it's at least be good at something to make you not buying it, that would be a start. But I don't know, it's large as a term, right? I personally am self-reliant on a solar home, so that's a way to be self-reliant. And even then, it's like 90% possible because I need to buy fuel and propane, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So self-reliant, it's like 100% of it. I don't think it's possible these days, unless you're very, very simplistic, in your approach. But I think we're too domesticized, if that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
So like to me, it's trying to being self-reliant with my food, with a garden, with the poultry, the rabbits, that we're gonna get eventually. So that's our start because we haven't been at it for too long, but at the same time, I've been at it for my whole life. But being self-reliant 100%, it's a goal. To me, more than it is a fact, if I can say.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's a goal. I think of people now who haven't been on this journey for very long, and I'm afraid for them. When you talk about $5 for eggs, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know. I've never done the math to find out what it actually cost me to make a dozen eggs, or to have my chickens make a dozen eggs. There's a T-shirt that I saw the other day on an American Homestead. It said "My pets make breakfast," and it's got chickens laying eggs on it. But anyway,
yeah, it is. You need to, like Ren, who's actually in the channel right now. He he was talking about the chicken math, and I sure got it very quick. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's just it's simple enough. Chickens are simple enough, so it's not big of a deal if you live in the country to do so. So why not try? But yes, in the city, it might be harder to be self-reliant for sure because you depend on so many things, and as you
right.
should. That's nowadays that's how it works. But when you think about me where I live, last Christmas there was a bunch of power outage all the time, and people were calling me, "Oh, do you have electricity?" I was like, "Yes," but I wasn't laughing, But I was like, "Yes," but they forgot that I was off-grid solar, and even my mom-in-law, she's still sometimes, let's do this with the microwave. Well, by choice, we don't have a microwave. At this point, we could
Mm-hmm.
have a microwave, but it's just, we don't have one and we never had one really, so it's just by choice, of course, but that's the one thing that we don't need whatsoever. But yeah, self-reliance. It's what about you? Like, are you like, can you put a percentage on how reliant you are? Like, I think I'm like not even 50.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I I'm not as self-reliant as I could be. I know I preach it. I want people to be more self-reliant because it's hard work, but it's easier and a more steady thing. But I don't think I'm 50%. I have
Yeah,
solar.
speaking of it, I don't think I am either.
Yeah, I have solar power. So with electricity, I am at the moment self-reliant, except for in these dark days that we've been having, I've had to run the generator. That's
Yeah,
gas. I cannot
100%.
make gas. um,
Yeah, I think that won't go away as per a thing in life, unless things go really bad.
right.
So like same with propane, but the cost of it might go up.
Yeah. And you can get a federal permit for a still to make fuel.
You can or cannot.
You can in the
Okay, okay.
States. An American Homestead they have a permit for a still to make fuel. Um, and that's one of those things where they just have it, just in case. Uh,
Mhm.
I have my own well. My water pumps run from the solar, from the batteries. I have 800 watts worth, 800 watt hours or amp hours of battery storage. Uh, and to tell you the truth, the last few weeks, I haven't even, I, my charge controller comes up to float, but it's still bringing in like maximum amount of voltage because the batteries aren't there yet. These
Yeah,
batteries
yeah, yeah.
have a
Needs a couple
thing in them
hours.
to, yeah. And
Yeah.
but food wise, I have a lot of stuff that I put up my pantry. Most of my food stores are from shopping from the stores, whether that be from grocery stores or the farmers market. Um, and I want to get to that point. I want to be that person who can take in a big basket of zucchinis or squash or cucumbers or watermelon or whatever. We have this lady. Her name is Darlene Kirk. Shout out to Darlene and Wayne. Um, and she is, every year she brings in these big baskets full of zucchini and squash and stuff, and she sets them in back of the church and takes it home when it's empty. People can just take what they
Yeah.
want. And I want to, yes, squash.
Yeah. Oh, squash. Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, that one's empty. I've already gone
But
through one bottle of water.
I was reading a bit of the comment and great comments. And Kay was saying, Karine, my lady, she was saying that we're about 25%. And she's the number lady. I always argue her number, but she's damn dead on all the time. And there's was it Thor, Darren like Thor, which he was like Icarus Croft would bash on his self-reliancy. And like I did talk to them when I visited them, and it is hard to be self-reliant truly, because you need, like, in any case, breed your chicken for years to come without feeding them with grain, like, or
Mhm.
grain so like it's the same from, you do stuff from scratch. Sure, you get all the ingredient, you make your stuff from scratch, but where the ingredients come from,
Right.
that's another story. So self-reliant in butter, self-reliant in grain whatsoever, flour. Come on, maybe it's 25%. Let's go down to 20 now. You know,
Yeah.
so but it's trying to, it's learning. Like, I like the learning curve name, Marcy's name, because that's pretty much what it is. Because being self-reliant, tell me who is, and I'll go and visit him and talk to him for a week, and you know, do
Yeah.
ayahuasca sessions or something to enlighten myself, because I don't believe it's possible, but I sure think it's a goal, and it could be 90%, maybe one day, but I doubt it's
Well, yeah.
possible.
There's always a skill that you can learn. Um, there's all I think and there are skills that you say, okay, I don't need to know how to make wine or mead or whatever. But guess what? Can you make a
Karine does.
basket? Yeah.
Sorry about
The
that.
no, that's fine. The lady down the road might be able to weave baskets. You can't weave baskets, so you take a bottle of wine to her or a couple bottles of wine, whatever, and maybe she would trade you a basket for it. It is a communal thing.
100%. It's important,
And
like, to me, to be able to be self-reliant. I think, perhaps, and that's just, drunken talk we had and thoughts, but about 50% would be a good start to be self-reliant. Like the amount of people that would need to be around you, to be gardening, to be this, to be that. Like very often we do this ourselves. We think we are self-reliant. We could at a certain extent, but at some point when you only live from your livestock, how do you lift your cow or whatever when it's your tractor is out of gas for the past couple of years, and this and that. Of course, you have to be very quick and wise, but rope and this and that, like and stuff. But it needs to be you need to be able to adapt, and I think that's what people cheat themselves on. I think they can be adaptable more than they imagine, but they don't have the desire to be moving to the country and live the hard life. And that's self-reliancy at its best, is when you live correctly the same way as you would live anywhere else, with a bit of I don't know, care for the environment perhaps, or the consumption. That's what in a sense we live right now. K&I is the consumption part. We're trying to be simple in that aspect, but we live normal. We don't struggle on any aspect. We do have gas, which we cut in half from the first year we moved in, but it's so expensive now that it costs the same. So it's improvement there, which costs money, which costs lithium shortage and all that, and how it's made. So it's not green. So green doesn't mean self-reliant to me. You could live in an ice, riser scraper and be self-reliant somehow. Living in a dumpster,
to be a producer rather than just a consumer. Whether you could in an apartment, you might be able to get the stuff to make baskets, to trade for the flour, to make the bread. There's so many things. Homesteading in and of itself is the pursuit of self-reliance. But I gotta tell you, man, it doesn't take much of a tragedy. See ya, Annie. It doesn't take much of a tragedy. Just oops, my green beans didn't come out good this year, or wow, I bugs got to my squash. I said squash, sorry, but you don't know what's going to happen, and that can be very it can throw your whole season off.
It's easy. Last year the bugs threw us off. I don't know if you're in your neck of the woods, but like the bugs kind of give us a hard time with the leaves at first. So we had to treat them very quickly. But once again, we did our own soap. So like things like that can make you self-reliant. Sometimes it's, I'm going to go buy that. So that's one thinking that we went off. In a sense, it's like, what can we do ourselves different than just going buy stuff?
Right.
And that's one thing, because simple stuff like soap, there's nothing that beats a good like industrial chemical soap.
Well, no, actually, I prefer the bar soaps. I am using the one that I won from Remy, and it is lasting forever.
Yes, for yourself. Yes.
And
no, I meant wonderful. For like like very dirty stuff, grease, or a lot of times you anyway, what I meant is you need sometimes to buy stuff, but when you can do it yourself, like mild soap, more natural soap exists, and that's what we use here, but when you can provide instead of consume, like you were saying, I loved what you said there earlier. It comes down to that.
Yeah. And it's healthier. I see. It's funny because when I found myself here alone, okay, I kind of started reverting back. It's funny. It was 27 years since I had been a bachelor, and I reverted back to the bachelor eating style, just like that. I still grew my garden, but I was eating chicken patties and pierogies and Salisbury steak. I get the family pack of Salisbury steak.
Yeah.
And so all that got put up in the pantry, a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it I did miss some of the harvest because I was running and just I got busy, and I think I burn out a little bit on the gardening towards the end. I don't finish well, and I need to start finishing well.
It's a long process. You're right. Yeah.
And so now I have a pantry full, but now that I'm living off the pantry, it's not easy. I only eat one meal a day, but I snack a lot. I need to, I have a recipe for kale chips. I'm going to start kale chips this year. I'm hoping to, because there are times I made the list. I got Lynn from Bucket List Homestead. If you join a membership, it's 99 cents. And you ask her, she'll send you her pantry challenge form. It's like a calendar and all. It's really cool. And I filled that out, and then I'm saying, you know what? I don't feel like making fried squash tonight. So I'm going to, yep, sorry. I've got a bunch of cans of this stuff in there. That's okay. I'm drinking this stuff. I could do this all night.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think, the basics of self-reliant is at least trying to be, like, if we you think about it, it's like the goal. Some people like have like 200 acres and, they're not self-reliant whatsoever. They're more consumer than anything else, so like it's whatever you want to do. Like the simpler you are, the more than likely you're going to succeed at it. And we live in the 21st century, so being reliant in 21st century doesn't mean you need to suffer because we have everything. So at least try, like if it all fails, buy all your tomatoes from the store when they're cheap, and can, and whatnot. So, but if you want to go there, of course.
Yeah. I think that's one of the differences between the homesteading, more self-reliant lifestyle and like a lot of farmers. A lot of the farmers, they raise crops to sell so that they can purchase, which there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Whereas with the homesteading life, we produce so that we can consume what we produce.
And that's what I was saying with chickens. It's easy, right? You can what is it called, breed chickens. Very easy.
Yeah.
You can have little chickens in no time, and it works well. So you could be self-reliant only with chicken. Your diet will be a little bit weird, but
we've been on the homestead for 6 years, I think now. And the largest hatch I have had in a year was 5 chicks. And it was down to 2 chicks by time they were big enough to start laying. One of them was a rooster, so he never did start laying. It's yeah, that's a totally different show. I keep asking him, can you just identify as a hen, please?
Yes, please.
And that's another show that's going to be coming up is egg production. I have heard homesteaders, I'm not the only one, this year has been hard on the egg production. And I think one of the reasons is because it's been so dark. Even on I've only had since December, I've only had maybe 2 or 3 sunny days, and they didn't last very long. Very young guys.
Yeah. Kay's asking, how many chickens did you have to have 5 eggs, 5 hatching eggs?
Okay. With the coop that I have, my temporary chicken coop, which somebody told me the other day, if it's been there over 2 years, it's not temporary. But I aim for 24 to 26 birds. And at the time I had the 5 eggs, I would catch one going broody. When I go to get the eggs from under her and she just stares straight ahead, then what I usually try to do, and it doesn't always work, but is I have a dog crate, a pet carrier, and I fix that up and I take the eggs from under her and put in there, and I put her in there with food and water. And that kind of encourages her to go broody a little. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then I'll put eggs under her as I go till she gets maybe 10 or 12 eggs under her. So I had about 24 chickens, and 5 of them hatched. And I'm thinking one of my cats might have had something to do with the disappearing chicks. I'm not totally sure. I hollered at him when I saw one of the cats stalking the chicks. Mama walked by and the chicks walked by, and here comes the cat, all with its shoulders going back and forth. And I hollered at him, but I had 2 survive. One was a rooster. This year, I put a bunch of eggs under a broody hen, and I came out with 1. There were 3 hatched that were dead when I found them. Two of them were dead when I found them, and 1 grew up to be a rooster.
So you decided to be a rooster later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will be our first year with more than 5 chickens. I definitely looking forward to it. I love it.
Now, do you have a rooster at all, or
not right now? I could
Not
have,
right now.
but things got put up a bit and put off a bit, and I'm just
Yeah.
looking at there because that's where my chicken coop is.
Yeah.
So I couldn't build them. So that was the reason why I didn't want to get a temporary one that would stay there for too long, So I just canceled the idea, and so therefore I'm not self-reliant on chickens. I am on eggs, but
Yeah. I'm getting 2 or 3 eggs every other day now. So it's coming up, and for me that's enough. It's more than enough. But for a long time I was taking eggs to like church, and people would say, "Hey, you got eggs?" And I say, "Yeah, here's a dozen or 2," just to kind of offset. Like I said, I never figured out how much do I need to get for a dozen eggs to pay for my feed. But I always charge $2 for a dozen eggs, and that seemed to go over well, and it helped make up for some that I was spending on feed.
Yeah. But you know what? The idea of being self-reliant, like a solar self-reliant, it's great to me. But it's not cheaper. It's just you put your money in different places.
Mm-hmm.
So like once again, you're not self-reliant before you get your stuff because you didn't make your stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever solar you use, technology, we're lucky to have any. But we're self-reliant after that. But if it breaks, you need to fix it. I guess that's self-reliant. But like at some point, I cannot make solar panel. I could make thermal panels if I want to get
Right.
more.
Yeah.
But solar to cap enough watts, that's a different story.
Yeah. I used to know exactly how many watts I needed to make it through a day. I don't know that anymore. But I do pay.
That's good because that means you don't worry too much.
Yeah. Since I got the new batteries, and I just saw Renogy has 320 watt or 350 watt panels, and I could swear the ad said $65. I was in the middle of something else when I saw it. $65. They're monocrystalline. There are 2 different types of solar panels. You got the monocrystalline, and then photovoltaic, I think. And they're the monocrystalline panels. I don't remember which one is the better of the panels, but they had them for a huge discount. And because the solar panels I'm using now, I bought them, I paid like $100 a piece for them. They're 250 watt panels, but they were used. I think they were used in Arizona and discontinued. Kareen, do you know which one is supposed to be the more productive? The monocrystalline or polycrystalline? I'm not sure. One of them, they said, like reflects from the ground, takes it from the snow, takes light that reflects from the snow and stuff too. Monocrystalline are more efficient. Okay.
That's why I love her.
Yeah. Hey, man. That's
nope. She's right. It's like whatever you buy cheap, just make sure that it suits. 350 watts. Usually here in Canada, it's about 100 watts for $100. So $1 a watt, or just about.
Yeah.
That's the trend. So, but yeah, I can't wait to have 700 watts.
I'm not going to put that up, Kareen. You put that up there. That was your information. Claim it. So, wow, this has been a great show so far. And kind of the only real difference is I'm putting more effort into organizing beforehand. And I'm calling it a show. But it is amazing some of the things that you go through. Like you, when you were walking through your woods, I remember you were telling us a story that you started discovering that you had a food forest already. It was neglected, but it was already present on your homestead or farm.
Yes, we had about an acre close to the house, but a little bit further down the house, which is my garden now, full of stuff that we didn't know, and probably cut stuff that we didn't realize at the time. But they had orchards, they had prunes, they had of course apples and stuff, grapes, blueberries, what else? Bunch of stuff. So, but the grass was so tall that we needed to do something about that. And big goal we had is to do a garden and be self-reliant on that aspect. But of course, we're just trying to at this point again. But last year the tomatoes did great, so we're king tomatoes, but nothing else really. So I think we'd die of whatever sickness we could have back in the days. But by cleaning all that up, we figured that bushes, like fruit bushes and stuff, but mainly we had to till at least once. So we did that. We did our row and stuff, and so then we just used the manual thing to till the thing.
Long fork.
Yes, brought fork.
Long fork.
So yeah, that's what we do on that part. But it was a big that was our first goal, actually. Clean everything 50 yards around, and it was just circle. But that part was one. Here was another part. That part was another part. But that specific part was one goal. We did that, and we did the garden the first year, very small. But years after, last year was great. So it helps to be self-reliant when you have a big garden. I don't know how big I would need to be self-reliant, to be honest, because I don't know. It's the biggest I had in my life, but still, I would die in probably January. Of starvation or something. So
well, it takes years to build up the pantry. The other day, I I had to the other day. Um, I literally ate venison stew from 2016. It was 7 years old. It was delicious. Um, well, actually, I think if I remember right, I did add some garlic powder and hey Scott, um, I added some garlic and some stuff to it after the fact because it was a little bland. But I think that might be something that Wendy had tried was putting up the base without a bunch of seasonings, and then because she would taste it as she cooked it and
Yeah.
heated it up, which I feel like a fraud. I really do. On my hashtag pantry challenge, I'm filming myself heating up stuff that Wendy cooked. How many times can okay? I'm bringing the stew to a boil. Let's watch water boil.
Yeah. uh,
And
like me, like yeah, we do garden and stuff, but we do buy a lot of stuff because we still work full time,
mm-hmm,
and we're still, like in a world where we can't afford to buy stuff. So we do buy a lot of tomatoes still, we do buy a lot of whatever corn when things don't work out like last year. We don't know how to grow corn, but at least we tried that. And to me, that's a step towards self-reliance. And the more you do it, the better. Like like I seem like a depressive, self-reliant guy here, but it's fun and it's possible to be out there and not starve, but you'll have to work very hard. And that's what I was saying earlier, like the amount of people that it might take to be self-reliant. It's not an easy task, to live with 50 people all the time.
yeah. Um, I think of Joseph in the Bible, that he saw 7 years of good and plenty time coming and 7 years of famine, which I can't look ahead. Well, actually, I can. I kind of did. Years ago, I looked ahead and said, times are going to start getting tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take what I can and store it up so that I have uh, that put aside. And then when I have to, because right now, one reason the pantry challenge is hard. I'm a snacker. I like to snack on things, and I'm lazy. I'm not. I don't like when I get hungry. That's when I think about eating. I'm
Yeah,
just getting
yeah,
in the
yeah.
habit of looking at Lynn's thing there where I wrote in what I was going to have every day. And I think there's only been like 3 days that I actually ate what I had planned on eating that day.
Okay, okay, okay.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Kay is really good at that. She's so sturdy. Like I'm like you. I would go with the flow and probably starve one week and being bloated next week. Uh, but yeah, squirrels. You need to be a squirrel.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And that, the first year you might have more beans than tomatoes. The next year, your tomatoes might do good. And the thing is taking and using from your pantry as you go, so that you don't end up eating venison stew from 2016
Yeah,
or 1998. That I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if the lid would last that long.
yeah. You need to be
Um,
watching. Rotate your stuff very. I think it's Thor who had a good pantry thing. Like you put on top and it goes down. We need
yes.
plans, Thor. I thought
Yeah.
that was the greatest thing. I've seen that before with cans and the fridges and stuff. But pantry
Yeah.
wise, like I think that's the greatest thing ever. Like I would
Yeah.
make a very large one, and build stuff is part of being self reliant. Like
Yeah.
being creative enough to do that kind of stuff. And I got the idea, but how long would it take to make it for me?
Well,
Uh,
yeah. Having the confidence to say, okay, I don't know how to change the oil in my car. I'm going to learn. And YouTube is a great resource for that. For my
that's where I
tractor,
learned
that's
all my solar stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
YouTube.
Yeah, it would take up a little bit of space, but um, boy, oh boy, you get something that only needs marginal heat, or for people down south, they could actually have those cakes, because I think I look at my pantry and I have to wash my jars off and my cans off before I open them, because I had a mouse problem and I don't trust it. I will never take a black light into my pantry ever, because I'd never be able to eat from it again.
Oh, gosh, yeah, 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 yeah,
But uh, but that those cans are protected from that for the most part.
yeah.
Um,
I had mouse problem, but yeah, like system efficiency. Maybe with thinner building material. More
mhm.
space, maybe wires or like rods or but
Cut
and
the
larger so you can put whatever can size and there's no in between the cans.
right.
Maybe I don't
It,
know.
maybe cut the two by. I think if I remember right when I watched it, cut the 2x4s down into 2x2s, because it doesn't need the structural strength. I mean, that is a well built. He could probably climb that like a ladder and not hurt it a bit. Um,
Yeah, yeah. But again, being self-reliant, building all the stuff, that's one asset that someone can have. It's being, handy, handyman.
yeah,
I wasn't handy when I was younger, but I always
no,
wanted to. And at one point, I didn't have a choice to. And then I'm sort of fast, good at it. I'm
I'm
not bad.
I'm not handy now. Trevor, my brother, works at Kraft. He is a line tech, and they make cream cheese. And he actually rebuilds, like he'll take a block of metal and make a shaft out of it and carve the keyholes. Everything has to be perfect.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not me. If it
yeah.
works, I'll use it. You
As
know,
long as you make the right cling, 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 right?
right, right.
Yeah.
But and it drives him nuts sometimes, because he'll say, "Come on, Tracy, you could just had to put a little effort into it, and it would have been great."
It goes back to the community aspect. One person is good, the other one is less good at something, but we're all good at something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um, and I can't wait to this spring. I'm gonna talk to the Amish and see if they can build my barn cheaper than I can, because they mill their own wood and everything.
Yes. Yep.
And not to mention, I mentioned before that I'm lazy. Uh, I can help them. That's not a problem. I could build it. I built. Uh, I'm. I gotta claim the chicken coop, but Trevor helped me set the posts and for the woodshed and stuff. But I built the tool shed all myself. Um, and it's I can build, but something tells me in the spring when I'm getting ready to start building, he's going to say, "Okay, Tracy, I'm calling in the favor," because he helped me build my house. He built my house basically. I helped him, and
Gotcha.
he's going to be building a garage at his house. And so if I can just have the Amish come in and build it and get it done and over with, that makes me happy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's nice when it's done and you're not there. you
And
know.
then that opens me up to so much more, because right now I have chickens. In the summer, I have pigs. Oh, that opens me up. If I wanted to try breeding pigs, I don't think I'm going to, because it's just a lot of commitment to feed them over the winter and keep them
Yes.
warm and stuff. But rabbits, I plan on doing. I've been wanting to try goats since we left Port Leyden. I wanted to try goats, so I might be able to do that. See you later, Little Ridge. And it just opens up. I will have the area to keep different animals, to have meat birds separate from my layers, and to have turkeys or quail or whatever. It's all about, because there is nothing like a partridge breast wrapped in bacon. Oh, that is so good.
Yeah. There's many things, like you can do like that. Like trapping. You can trap small games like that. It is all self-reliant related. Like growing all quails is easy. Like it's easy to, you know, uh, process. And everything. So you have to be careful with what you raise in order to. Like I personally wouldn't be able to do pigs. I don't know how. Um, Poultry I do because I know how. Stuff
Yeah.
like that. So to me it's a step-by-step process. Again, if things go bad tomorrow, I'll need to be very, very quick and efficient at learning, you know. But
Yeah.
I could do it. I could feel comfortable enough to do it and try. And I think that's a very, very good thing to have as a self-reliant person, is
Yeah.
the will to try, at least if if you're if you need be.
Yeah. Always just do your best. No one is 100% self-sufficient. There's always someone that can do something that you can't, but maybe you can do something to trade with them. But we want to be more self-reliant. And I think self-reliance um, kind of entails that having the ability to create something that you can trade or buy. But I'm going to go ahead, and I think we'll go ahead and close this down, Patrick. Thank you for being the inaugural. Am I saying inaugural guest on the Homestead Centric show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, anytime. One day I'm gonna be doing within the next few weeks. I'll be doing solar um, as a subject, and I'd love to have you on that. Um, and so yeah, guys, remember I am so excited um, for the Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference in McDonald's Corners, Ontario. It's only 3.5 hours away from upstate New York. Basically, throughway. It might be 4 hours from the throughway in New York. So if you can, go ahead, and you got to plan earlier if you're going to cross the border. That invisible line needs a New York enhanced license so you can get back in. I'm not worried about getting into Canada. They're cool. But getting back into New York might be a problem for me. Oh, thank you, Moonsprout. I appreciate it. Um, so yes, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. I was at 760 some subscribers, 64 I think it was subscribers. I am on a race. By the end of March, I want to be monetized, and that's going to be tough. But I know I can do it. Also, Annie at Back to Basics Homestead is working on becoming monetized. She needs watch hours. And if you choose to put a playlist on, watch 3 or 4 videos on a playlist, then watch someone else's video, and then go back to watch more on that playlist, because otherwise I hear YouTube will think that you're a bot and it won't count. And it is just so, it's like with Amazon. This is my 3rd try to become an Amazon affiliate. And I need 3 sales in 180 days. Actually, I'm probably down to like 45 days, 40 days that I have left. And the rules, my sister used my links. Her name is different. She lives in Florida. She used my links, but somehow they say, hey, she's your friend. So they don't count her for qualifying purchase. I don't know. What can you do? All right, Patrick, thank you for being here. I will talk to you later. I'm going to go ahead and remove you there real quick. And guys, don't forget, February 8th of 2023, I will be giving away this Vivitar 4K action camera on Wendy's birthday giveaway. Guys, y'all have a great day. And I'm going to end. Actually, you know what? I'm going to run my commercial. If this is a show. All right. I'm going to end with a commercial. Here you go. Y'all have a great day and God bless. Hey, y'all, T-Ham141 here. I'm Tracy. Welcome to the live stream tonight. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just let you know I've got merch. I've got all sorts of cool designs on shirts and like 60 or 70 different products over at Redbubble. I'll put the link up here. And I've got books. If you go to thand141homestead.com, you will find each and every one of my books. I sell. They are Amazon quality. They are printed on Amazon KDP. A big shout out to all my friends in the homesteading community. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button, that subscribe button, and that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I come out with a new piece of content. And don't be afraid to comment and let me know what you would like to see on my channel. All right, guys, it's about that time. Let's get into the live.